It's been a new learning for me, Nilesh. I'm sharing with our viewers that if you look at the Indian market setup, 90% of the participants have a view which is less than 1 year. 5% of the market participants have a time frame of 1 to 3 years, and less than 2% market participants have a time frame of have more than 5 years. So I'll take the first one out because this is where you don't invest. 1 to 3 is where you look at turnaround stories, market share gain, inflection points. And 5-year plus is where you look at classic compounders. So let's understand in time bracket. 1 to 3, what qualifies the cut for you? 5 plus, what qualifies the cut for you?
I think in 1, 2, 3, it would be businesses like the Capex kind of companies, because we are at the start of an investment cycle. So a lot of these product companies will do extremely well. People who essentially are supplying equipment and components and consumables to a lot of the infra projects or to some of the manufacturing companies. I think that space will do extremely well for the next 1 to 3 years. I think there's a good chance for real estate and real estate oriented companies to essentially keep doing well. I think from a more longer term perspective, I think pockets again like specialized technology, specialized banks or specialized lenders, some of the fintech kind of businesses, discretionary consumption, especially those where a very young growing middle class is beginning to tilt its consumption basket towards. So companies which are into alcoholic beverages or consumption or some of the other luxury products, if you would call them as luxury products, I think that kind of a basket looks pretty good from a 5-year plus kind of a horizon, because these are huge markets, underserved markets. And I think if you can find a company which essentially is at the forefront and is in a vantage position to ride this long runway of growth, I think you could essentially be sitting on some great compounders.
What we'll do now, Nilesh, is that we look at few multi-baggers, and these are absolute standards. The first multi-bagger, if you talk about last decade, is Bajaj Finance. That's the top recall. Last 20 years is HDFC Bank, Tata Elxsi, another multi-bagger. But there are some very ordinary names in last 10 years which are up 20 times, 25 times. One is Tube Investments. Never thought that a classic like Tube Investments could be a multi-bagger in last 10 years. Other one is Escorts. Out of the blue, Rakesh Junwala invested in it and just hit out of the park. The third one is Sundaram Finance, Sundaram Fasteners. These are old companies, Nilesh, but suddenly they've changed their gyration and their trajectory in last 10 years. Which are some stocks which may not be part of new tech, fintech, not part of the new breed of IPO, but these are companies which are at an inflection point because they've done the hard work, they've done the groundwork. So they are in the existing pool, old vintage crop, but the new season has started for them. From the vintage, from the classics.
No, I totally agree, Nikunj. And at times, we keep saying simple is boring or old is boring, but...
Which is so fascinating when I looked at Tube Investments, Escorts.
Absolutely.
Even Raymond's.
Yes, absolutely.
Whatever may be the reason, it's got done 132 to 2000 in 10 years.
Yes. My view is it would probably somebody from the manufacturing pack. I think the manufacturing pack is up for good times. A lot of reforms have happened in the last 5 to 7 years which benefit manufacturing companies. I think a lot more will be done in terms of reforms. So I think manufacturing is one great place where a lot could happen, and I think in the overall, while of course electronic manufacturing services, the EMS players and all of them are there, but the valuation, the businesses could still compound at 20, 30, 40%, but valuations are of course
what would you be looking at buying if there is a panic in the market? Look, I
think I'll sorry?
I mean, if there's panic in the market.
No, I think if it is manufacturing and if it is in that context, I think it would be a great auto component company. I think something in auto components, I think would probably pass the muster.